Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Nur Ania Atira from BA 2355C and we are from Group 5. Due to the rapid spread of the COVID-19, many people has been affected. In education, it has many challenges. One of it is we cannot seem to enjoy our learning in the campus. We need to learn online. Online learning affects learner relationship and interaction with the social environment. Most students find it challenging to perform the online learning process because there is no direct interaction with the lecturer. Therefore, we want to evaluate the mental health experience and support system during COVID-19 pandemic among university students in UiTM Puncak Alam Selangor. Next is research objective. Our research objective is to measure the level of mental health among university students, to identify the relationship between students' experience and mental health among university students, and to investigate the relationship between the student support system and mental health among university students. For our research question, we want to know what is the level of mental health among university students, what is the relationship between student experience and mental health, and what is the relationship between the student support system and mental health among university students.
Conceptual framework between the dependent variable and independent variables, which is experience and support system. Under experience, we have online learning, role conflict, and isolations, while for support system, we have financial and social supports. It's related to the mental health.
Next is research hypothesis. Research hypothesis is a definite, precise, and a testable proportion or prediction regarding the outcome of the scientific research study based on a specific attribute of a population, such as presumed disparities between a group on a given variable or correlation between variables. For our group, our study, which is first hypothesis 1, there is a significant relationship between experience and mental health. And the second hypothesis is there is a significant relationship between a support system and mental health.
Type of investigation for this research study is correlational relationship. According to Serum 2019, the correlation research method is a type of non-experimental research that facilitates prediction and explanation of the relationship among variables. Hence, 5 variables are used in this research study, which are implementation of online learning method, role conflict, isolation during lockdown, financial support, and gaining social support that move concurrently with dependence variables, which is mental health.
Next is population. Population refers to the people who will be studied or serve as part for the study. So the population for this study is the first year and the final year student from the Department of Entrepreneurship and Marketing Studies in the Business Management Entrepreneurship, Customer Service Management, Business Administration Marketing, and Business Administration Retail Management.
Next is sample data. Sample data is a subset of a population to ensure that there is enough data to make a conclusion. So for this study, the sample size is 144 students for the Department of Entrepreneurship and Marketing Study (EMS) and only for Part 1 and Part 5.
The method used for sampling technique is probability sampling technique, which is stratified random sampling. By using probability sampling, an investigator can extrapolate results from the sample to the intended audience by Akaria et al. 2013. According to Akaria, stratified random sampling is when the data is separated into different subgroups, which is strata that share characteristics like age, sex, income, education, and ethnicity. Stratified random sampling. In this case, students from the Department of Entrepreneurship and Marketing Study (EMS) are divided into 2 parts, which is Part 1 and Part 5. Then 144 students are randomly chosen from each group to forming a sample.
Next is data cleaning. Data cleaning is when data is extracted from the different database. It is possible that some value in some column will be missing. So the process of data cleaning is necessary because it is necessary to fill in such a missing number and to standardize the keyword tag or to fix the spelling error or to detect and eliminate unnecessary data. And according to the finding, there is no indication of a missing value, which indicate that each and every respondent has provided an answer for each and every question that is posed. In addition, this research does not include both positive and negative statement in a collection of a survey. Therefore, there is no requirement for a record.
Next is the profile of the respondent. From this table, we can see that out of 144 respondents, 95 respondents are female, while the male is 49. For the course, Business Management Entrepreneurship have 42 respondents, Customer Service Management have 39 respondents, Business Administration Marketing has 42 respondents, and Business Administration Retail Management has 21 respondents. Last is the current semester, which is content of Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 have 61 respondents, while Part 5 have 83 respondents.
Now, move on to the normality result. Skewness and kurtosis are used to determine the normality of the result. Based on this data, we can see that both independent and dependent variables fall under normal distributions based on the skewness and kurtosis value that have been conducted through SPSS.
Next is reliability analysis. Reliability analysis is a method to examine the consistency for the set of measurements. All 7 variables in the study are tested using Cronbach alpha, which is the most commonly used to measure internal consistency. Okay, from this table, we can see that role conflict, financial support system, and mental health data is not relevant since the Cronbach alpha is below 0.6. Therefore, the 3 variable data is not accurate. While the other variables, such as implementing of online learning methods, isolation during lockdown, financial support from the university, and gaining social support is relevant since the Cronbach alpha is above 0.6. Therefore, this variable is accepted.
The mean is the average of a set of number or calculated central value. It is used to measure the central tendency of the data. Simpson and Rowland 2009 state that standard deviation can be determined using the square root of variation formula. Based on the result, we can see the range of mean for all variables from 3.39 until 3.94. It shows that most students prefer agree to the question. For standard deviation, question 3 have the highest SD, which is financial support. It can be concluded as acceptable. Mean and SD implementation of online learning. From the table, we can see that students prefer to choose strongly disagree as minimum for all questions and strongly agree for maximum choice. It can be concluded that students enjoy computer during online learning.
The table shows the mean and standard deviation for role conflict. The highest mean for these variables is question 1. I must do things that should be done differently, which is 3.76. Meanwhile, the lowest mean is question 4. I receive assignments without the proper manpower to complete it, which is 3.16. For standard deviation, the highest is question 6, which is 1.154, while the lowest is question 3, which is 0.995. The overall mean and standard deviation for these variables shows it is acceptable. Mean and standard deviation for isolation during lockdown. So the highest mean is the mean for the first question under the variable implementation of isolation. Isolation during lockdown can trigger my mental health is 3.68, while the standard deviation is 1.326. In general, the least number selected by respondents is 1 and the maximum is 5. The option selected by the greatest number of respondents is 53, which is strongly agree, while the one selected by the fewest respondents is 11, which is strongly disagree. So next, the lowest mean is the fifth question. I feel no longer by my side during lockdown. The mean is 3.20 and a standard deviation of 1.320. On average, respondents choose 1 as the minimum number and 5 as the greatest number. In addition, neutral has the highest percentage of 36 respondents, followed by agree, which is 33 respondents, and strongly agree, which is 30 respondents.
For financial support, the table shows the mean and standard deviation for financial support. The highest mean for these variables is question 2. Financial planning during the COVID-19 is important for me, which is 4.01. Meanwhile, the lowest mean is question 3. Financial aid from the government is beneficial in covering my daily expenses, which is 3.69. For standard deviation, the highest is question 3, which is 1.376, while the lowest is question 2, which is 1.097. The overall mean and standard deviation for these variables shows it is acceptable.
Mean and SD for financial support from university. From the table, we can see that students prefer to choose strongly disagree as minimum for all questions and strongly agrees for maximum choice. It can be concluded that student needs financial support and believe that UiTM should provide special assistance for students to gain access to the internet plan.
Mean and standard deviation for gaining social support. So the highest mean is from question 6. I get the emotional help and support I need from my family. The mean is 3.89 and the standard deviation is 1.059. The option selected by the greatest number of respondents is 55, which is agree, while the one selected by the fewest respondents is 2, which is strongly disagree. The lowest mean is from question 12. I can talk about my problems with my friends, with the mean 3.48 and the standard deviation is 1.159.
Next is mean and standard deviation for mental health. The overall result for the mental health from question 1 until 12 is indicate the maximum number of options chosen by the respondent is 5, which is always, and the minimum number of options chosen is 1, which is never, and the highest mean for the mental health is in question 1, which is have you recently able to concentrate on what you're doing, which is indicate 3.67, and the lowest mean is in the question 9, which is have you recently been feeling unhappy and depressed, which indicate 3.19, and for the highest standard deviation for the mental health is in question 11, which is indicate 1.13, and the lowest of standard deviation is in the question 1, which is 0.98.
Relationship analysis. So regarding the result of the correlation, it shows that the significant value is 000 for online learning, role, conflict, isolation, financial support, social, and 002 for financial support university. As the result of Pearson correlation, it implies that online learning 4 to 8 has a positive relationship with mental health. Therefore, there is a negatively weak downhill correlation, negative 119, or substantial relationship between isolation implementation and social support. Also, this relationship is significant at 0.01 level. Moreover, the result shows there is a positively weak uphill correlation 440 relationship between role conflict and also mental health. Thus, this relationship is significant at the 0.05 level. Taken together, there is one factor that shows a positive significant relationship between independent variable isolation and dependent variable mental health. So most of the factors except financial support university shows no significant relationship toward mental health.
For regression analysis, the result shows that the significant f-change is 0.000, which is less than 0.05 of p-value, which indicates that the linear model is significant or overall valid. It indicates that the significant values of implementation of online learning method, role conflict, isolation during lockdown, financial support from university, and gaining social support. The result shows that it can be concluded there are three factors that significantly affect the mental health among university students, which are the implementation of online learning method, isolation during lockdown, and gaining social support. This is due to the significant value for these three factors is less than 0.05 from the p-value. Hence, gaining social support is considered as the most influential factors that significantly affect mental health among university students, as the absolute data value of gaining social support is highest as compared to implementation of online learning method and isolation during lockdown. In conclusion, based on our research objective, there is correlation between mental health and social support received. Since the questionnaires and the result were analyzed by a descriptive analysis. Hence, the objectives of this study has been achieved. That's all from us. Thank you.